Hi guys, welcome to another video. So today I'm going to continue the episode 3 of my journey to self-discovery. So last week I shared how I wrapped clothes around my legs, and the first edition I shared how I wrapped clothes around my legs and how I didn't love myself enough while growing up and in secondary school. And I also shared how I kept on receiving I kept on being admired by so many, but I didn't believe any of this compliments given to me. I felt like they were all lying to me and all. And the second episode, I shared with you how somebody told me that she was looking up to me. She loved the way I talked, she loved the way I acted in school. And I said that I was going to continue with us on did I believe her? Did I actually change? Did I become more confident in myself because of that compliment? All right, so today we're going to talk on that. I'll be right back. All right, guys, so welcome back to episode 3. So, in today's episode, I'll be sharing with us how I actually continued my journey from institution till I finished. So, ND, while I was wrapping the clothes around my leg, and although I still don't understand the idea behind that because it didn't change the way I worked, but I just had the feeling that it was going to make the legs balanced or something like that. So, I had this friend then that saw me and was like, okay, I think we were playing and he mistakenly touched my leg and he was like, what did you wrap around your leg? What's in your leg? I lied about it because I was too embarrassed to say the truth. But at the end of the day, he was very persistent and he got to know the truth. Then he told me something. He said, Valerie, you're very beautiful. He calls me Amaka. He said, Amaka, you're very beautiful. You're wonderful in your own way. You're unique in your own very way. You know, it took somebody else to see that aspect of me, but I noticed that as much as he saw the aspects of me, I was still doing what other people wanted me to do. I was still working the way other people wanted me to work. I was actually seeking validation from everybody, thinking that okay, when they validate certain things I do or how I act, that I'll be loved by them. Now the saying that nobody will love you like you love more than you love yourself is actually true. And people would not see you more than the way you see yourself. It is very, very true. So because I saw myself in a certain type of way, I had friends that placed me in that position because I didn't have confidence in myself. I had people that placed me in that position, but I felt that these people were actually doing me good, but they were doing me more harm than good. So this particular friend of mine I met that year kept on telling me, you're very unique, you're beautiful in your own skin, you're this, you're that. And he said, unwrap that stuff. Then the following day, put on trousers and come, let me see how it looks. So I did. I actually listened to him because I liked him at that time. So I unwrapped the stuff. Then the following day, I was putting on trousers and a shirt. I was all corporately dressed, you know. So I went out and immediately he saw me. He was like, "Oh, this is beautiful." Then why am I afraid, or why am I so concerned about what other people think concerning this my leg and all that? It was not as if this was the way I was giving birth to, and it's not as if I'll be loved less. That I just need to learn to love myself, you know. So after he said that, I now remembered the story of the statement that lady made, that she has been admiring me, a whole me. How can you admire somebody like me? That she has been admiring me. So when I remembered, I was like, oh wow. So I started reading books on self growth, self development. Yes, this is how I started. I started, you know how they say Google is your friend. So sometimes I just Google some things like, okay, how can you love yourself more? I realized that all of those ones were not helping me, was not working. I needed somebody that was there, that had a little bit of experience and could actually walk me through that journey. So I spoke to somebody else. Randomly, we were just talking, and the person mentioned that person had been looking up to that person also. And that's the truth. I've been looking up to that person. So conversation led to a conversation, and that person said, while she was growing up, she had been looking up to me, making the second person. Now you can see, making the second person. that she had always wanted to be like me. She admires whatever I do, how I talk, how I am able to, capture some people. And then my friends were always way older than I am. I don't have friends that are younger. Any friend that I have that is younger, immediately we switch into the mode of I'm advising them. I know. So I had more of older friends. So this person was actually admiring all of that about me and the way I carry myself, even in the midst of pain, even in the midst of pain. And I did not realize all of these things at that time. So this person started giving me instances that big sis, that's what she calls me then. Big sis, you actually know how to maneuver certain things. When you are in certain sport, you know how to leave that sport. When you are in this particular crisis, you practically have solutions for everything. And I'm like, me, how? How do I have solutions for everything? So you can see, I wasn't seeing the good I was doing. I wasn't even seeing that I had power inside of me because I felt other people were more powerful than I was, because I felt other people were more beautiful than I was, because I felt other people were more unique than I was. So I wasn't even seeing the uniqueness in me at all. So when these people told me, I started observing myself. So I now kept a journal. Yes, I did. Don't judge me, but that was what worked at the end of the day. I started keeping a journal, started writing the things that I could do, things that I could not do, and how I could actually come out of a certain thing. And one of the books that helped me was written by Joyce Meyer. I love that woman so much because I started listening to her messages, started listening to her books, and I saw how she struggled in life, before she became what she is. I saw how she was physically and emotionally abused while growing up, and how she was able to forgive, how she was able to do a whole lot of things. I'm not saying our story is alike, but there was something about her that struck me. There was something about her story that really helped me, that really lifted me. So it got to a point that I practically started acting like Joyce Meyer around. So people that saw me were like, there's somebody that acts like this, that does like this. So because I started looking for all of her books. I started reading Woman to Woman, Loving Yourself. Is it Loving Yourself or Forgiving Yourself? Forgive Yourself, yeah. And now I can't really remember. I can actually, I'll pick the books much later, but all of those books had an impact in my life. Like they did something great in my life. So you see these people that actually acknowledged me, that made me see the other side of myself, although I never for once told them how I was feeling. I just listened. I just listened to the compliments. But the only thing I told this other lady that calls me Big Sis was that I have always loved her because she's strong. And she was like, is she strong? That no, that all of her strength she picks from me. That the way I act, she also wants to act that way. So that's why it's looking as if she's strong. So apparently, she has been trying to live my life, and I was trying to live somebody else's life because I didn't see the power I carried. I didn't know the capacity that was within me, I did not see that strength in me. So I did something. And mind you, while growing up, I was a teacher in my teenage age. I taught teenagers, my peers. Yes, I told you I right from small, I've been doing a whole lot of activities. So right from children department, I was either in the choir leading, I was either leading something. I was born to lead. Argue with yourself. But I was a born leader. But I did not really develop all of these things. I did not develop all of these things. So I taught in my peers, teenagers, but there was something I had to go back to the drawing board. I had to go back to my first love. I had to go back to God. I wrote lots of letters to God that time. I just disposed them when I finished institution. I disposed those letters. So I wrote lots of letters to God, asking God why I was like this, why He gave birth to me like this. No, not why this had to happen to me. Was I the only child in the hospital that something like that had to happen to? Why was I like this among my siblings? Like I wrote lots of complaint letters to God. It took it took time. It took God's grace for me to appreciate myself. So the moment I started saying, thank you, Jesus, for me being this way. Thank you, Jesus, for my leg, because some people don't even have legs to work. Thank you, Jesus, for this. And I asked him, what exactly do you want me to learn from this particular thing? And he started showing me lots of messages. And guys, that was a turning point. That was the turning point. You know, there was a stepping stone, which was what people said. The lady in school, don't forget, the lady in the institution during my ND that told me that she had looked up to me, and the other one, my street's younger sister, that told me that she had always wanted to be like me, and that other guy that I said, okay, you can say I smiled, then I said, guy like my. Anyway, and that guy that told me that I was beautiful in my own skin. So these three people actually pushed me to speak to my first love, which is God. You know, they pushed me to see a particular thing in me that I never realized. I did not realize these things, but they pushed me to see this thing, to realize this thing. So I started reading the scriptures at that point. I started asking God what He wanted me to learn from that thing. And I had lots of other challenges, like people looking at me and saying other things about me. But at that moment, I was not bothered. Why? This is it. Because I had to, in my journal, I now realized that in a week, I can have like 3 to 4 toasters. It shows that I'm pretty. You know, for a man to come and meet you and tell you that, babe, you're fine, I like you, it shows that there is something about me that they actually liked. So it now took courage. It took me defining myself, getting aware of who I was. It took me to start shuffling them. Now when this person comes, everybody is not meant for me. Now that's the word. Everybody is not meant for you. Everybody is not meant for you. So it took me time to realize that I don't need plenty friends. I don't need plenty cliques. Other people are not meant for me. Like, many people are not meant for me, but the few selected ones that I've decided to stay in my corner, I should appreciate them. We should work together and build a solid, beautiful relationship. You know? So every guy that came my way, rather than me seeking the beauty validation from them, like, oh really, am I beautiful? Am I this? It was easy for me to know that this is not what I wanted. This is not what I want in a guy. This is not what I want in a man, or as a friend. So it was easy for me to turn back. It was easy for me to pick. Even when you want to enter my corner, I just have a way of switching. I had a way of switching. So when I did my ND, I also had guys that asked me out. And at a point, somebody wanted the old pain to come back again. And what did this person say? He said he likes me, but he loves the charisma of my friend. Man, guy, we both have different charisma. And you can like us differently. Don't tell me I have to be like my friend for you to like me. It's not possible. This is me. This is who I am. If you cannot accept me this way, then you move. And this person was like, Amaka, you don't grow. That's the word. Amaka, you don't grow. That was because I know my worth. I started learning my worth. I started understanding that I am not for everyone. I started asking God to open my eyes to see certain things about myself, not about the people around me this time around, not about relationships, not about work, not about anything, but about me. For Him to show me my strengths, show me my weakness, my limits, what I actually stand for. It took courage for me to stand on the particular thing that this is what I believe in and you cannot shake it. But it had to take certain people to tell me, Valerie, that they were looking up to me for me to go back to my drawing board. God had to position those people in my life for me to see that yes, I am beautiful. So that first guy that I told you that said I needed to dress in a certain type of way if I wanted to roll with him, I had to cancel him from my list even before I left school. Because I realized that I was not meant for him. We're not even meant to have met. I just wanted to feel among at all costs. So that was how I started unwrapping my leg. But the thing continued when I went for ND, when you had other ladies that needed to base together and you guys can date together. I was very shy. And I realized that they no send. Lecture is 8 o'clock. Everybody's rushing to bait. Everybody's doing this or the other. So if I knew that I was going to keep sending them, I was going to keep trying to, what's the word? That I was going to keep trying to hide myself, my identity, hide how I was or whatever was wrong with my leg or something. I was going to get late to lecture all the time. So I just damned the consequences, baited with every other person, school life now, hostel life, and everybody was, we just zoomed off. And that was it. That was the beginning of the turning point. Now that was not the end. It's a beginning. And I will say this again in this video. Like I said, self-discovery is a journey. It is not a destination. So just because I started all of those process does not mean that it's a process, rather. Self-discovery is a process. So we're on that same journey. We're still going on that journey. We've not even gotten to the destination yet. So just because I said I discovered certain things about myself, I started doing certain things, does not mean that once a while I did not have times I wanted to go back. It doesn't mean once a while I didn't have that pain in me, like, okay, am I really enough? Because I had a lot of things in HND right back then that made me feel like, okay, well, am I still enough? Am I still enough? So that was the question. But so I started a journey. I started that process already, but I didn't get there. I was just at the tip. I did not get there. But you know how they say some people have coconut head. I'm part of that people that have coconut head. I am part of those that have coconut head. So guys, in my next episode, I think that will be the last episode I will be sharing with you. In my next episode, I'm going to actually talk about how I conquered it all. Like how I told myself, this is it. What made me tell myself, this is it. Like, this is it. You can't compare, you can't do this, you can't do that. What was the reason? What exactly made me conclude that I needed to love myself badly? I needed to love myself at all costs. I needed to prioritize myself. What was that thing? So in the next video, which is the last episode, I'll be sharing that point with us. But I hope you picked something from today's episode. I hope you learned something new from today's episode. If you did, please smash the like button, share this video, and comment down below. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit the post notification bell to get notified for more videos when I drop them. So guys, please and please and please, I want you to rush like this video, give this video many likes, and share this video to people out there for them to also learn, for them to hear all of those things, for somebody also to be lifted in the spirit that as at a point in time you need to love yourself, because if you don't love yourself, the eyes you use in seeing yourself is the same eyes other people around you will use in seeing you. Until I come here next time, have a great day. My name remains Valerienwoji. All right guys, bye. I love you.